Hey.
Hey, everybody.
Oh, we're live and we're back.
I don't think I did that transition quite as smoothly as you do.
You're getting it.
I'm getting it.
Aki, I wanted to go get something for her tea real fast. So, yeah, we're back. We're actually back and doing this again. It's actually feels like it's been forever.
It does feel like it's been forever, but it was a much needed holiday.
Raz is muted.
Weird.
He's having a full conversation. Everyone's
you know why? Because when we first started and when we got pulled backstage, it didn't mute me at all, and I was like, so I muted myself.
Oh gosh. Oh, yeah. Okay.
And then I just
welcome to the new season of You Can't Sit With Us.
Yes.
Hello.
You know, I was thinking about today. I was like, you know, all I need to do is if I can get, you know, what I should start doing now that I've gotten older, I should start charging people who walk up to me and just start charging them to people who say hi to me and everything like that. I was like, yeah, that's probably the best thing to do, because it was like I was listening to all that stuff on Applewhite today, and I was like, you know what? That's how a cult member really starts, or the leader starts right there. You charge people when they walk up to you and say hi. That'd be $20, please.
I thought that was like actors at cons. I thought like people like Applewhite just said, sell all your shit and give me your money.
Yeah, well, no, Applewhite said, bring some of your stuff and bring your money with you. To
I thought that was Rainier. Okay,
Rainier did that.
Spinning in a circle.
Why?
Yep. So, in the interest of honesty, I had heard the name Applewhite, and obviously I was kind of familiar with it, but I didn't know a lot about it until recently. And then I realized that I did, because I was really obsessed with the movie Dude, Where's My Car? And Zoltar. And it dawned on me a long time ago that I was wondering if that had been based like loosely on something that was real. And so as I started doing all the research for Applewhite, I was like, that's why the name is familiar. Because when I looked into this years ago, it was loosely based on Applewhite, the extraterrestrial.
Well, you know, we've got one of the Red Dead Redemptions, and there is a section that will like pop up every so often, like it won't happen all the time, where you find the cabin and you go in and like there's all these people on beds that are like dead and skeletons, and then all of a sudden a UFO will show up, and that's got to be based on Applewhite and the whole Heaven's Gate. That's the only thing I can assume.
Then there was that
So-
one Halloween movie that you introduced us to was it where with the alien trick or treat?
Oh my
Space
gosh,
Invaders.
what was that one? And they like came down
Those
and
are
like took,
multiple Halloween stories.
yeah, but they took like Leatherface or something.
It was it was cool, and the alien was completely unkillable. It was just wanting candy.
Smash.
It got smashed and then it went into the body. Hey, Andrew.
Yeah. That was like one of my favorites of the like all the different stories they had on there, and I forget the name of that movie.
Oh, I forget. It was like something about
Derpy wants
it had
to
multiple
say
stories.
It was an
You
anthology.
You know what we forgot to do. Hey guys, okay, so I am Hex's
Derpy.
Diamond. This is a COD Diamond. That is Raz the motherfucking slasher. And well, I guess you're Nat tonight. There's no
I'm
Mother de la
Nat.
Mort, no Odd Mother.
No.
And this is You Can't Sit With Us.
She was like really being a bitch, so I had to stick her back in the box. So
Fuck that guy.
Bring back Derp.
Hey, Mikey.
Oh, we gotta bring up comments on our side.
No, she's bringing them up.
No, we can't see
I've
the
been bringing
comments.
them up.
No, there we go. There we go.
I knew
The
that there were
tab.
only 3 and they all said hi.
Oh.
So I'm worried about it.
Guys, again, this is our podcast side of things. We will get to comments at certain points
Or never.
Mhm.
or never. It depends on how cool you are and how much you're going to pay us.
Yeah. So
I want money.
Mhm.
Highlight any comment you'd like for only $4.99.
Or the Scarface discount. We'll $9.99. that'll get you into our OnlyFans and our Twitter page. And
And
Tyler.
a passport to Mercia.
yes.
Yeah, I'm starting a new website called onlyraz.com. Just, you know,
Hashtag
I just sit here and
Tony
completely
Anus.
stare at you and read things out loud. That's it.
Hashtag Tony Anus.
Then every so often, people have to pay me to not remove any items of clothing.
You know what's really funny is I have somebody that I'm gonna be interviewing soon, and they told me they're like, I'm not really up on all your guys' inside jokes. I was like, honestly, they're not exactly inside jokes. They're just random shit that happens, and it just goes crazy throughout that episode.
Yeah.
Like.
So you know what my response would be to that is, I guess you need to tune in more, don't you?
They have newly discovered us.
Well, I am
And,
so glad that they're here.
The Voodoo Queen is the reason why so many people are starting to discover us. And so I
Aw.
definitely have to give her a good shout out because like I am meeting some cool ass people because she's like, hey, go talk to Akya. You know?
That's cool.
And
That's
I'm
cool.
like, you are so rad. Thank you.
So
They'll say-
Mikey asked, are y'all selling popcorn again?
Buy my shit.
Well, hey, everybody, we are selling popcorn. Come on over here and buy our popcorn.
Come on,
Hey,
buy our popcorn. Our popcorn is
The
not
secret
really
is
there.
it's
And
Orville Rittenbacher.
I got
secret
to
is
agree.
meth.
I got to agree on getting the chance to meet a lot of new cool people, man. Like seriously, like
Yeah.
the SAS thing has been great. We've
Oh,
even
yeah.
got someone from that's not in SAS this year. It's going to be popping on with me for my campfire thing.
Nice.
I talked to Prometheus into
nice.
it yesterday.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Caw.
We've been missing Prometheus and stuff because Friday nights, pretty much with taking helping her dad out and stuff like that, and he's been living in this room here for a little while.
And shows
so,
you guys have been doing too.
yeah.
Well, yeah, but like still, we usually start like my show on Wednesday starts after his show ends on Wednesday.
Yeah.
But his Friday show keeps going. But even then, we would be able to jump in after our show, but
Gotcha.
there's just no chance right now.
Right.
Oh yeah, it's nuts, man. You guys got a lot going on.
Yeah. Well, he's getting better. He's actually having a lot more movement in his neck and stuff like that where he had the surgery.
That's
So.
really good. I've been meaning to
That's
ask you, but
good.
And
I just haven't been at my
intentionally
computer
doing
for longer
stuff.
than like 45 minutes lately.
Intentionally
Been it-
showing loud.
I've been exhausted. I have just been working and working and working.
Yeah.
I feel that.
I'm glad to be back in the groove.
These designer bags, you know, they didn't.
Are you going to Florida?
I am.
So I had a
Scott got
Got
me
your
some
bags back.
This is
Gucci's.
the Panama special.
Some Gucci's.
the Panama special.
Yeah.
Well, we live off
I
Panama.
just made it up, dude. I don't know.
Panama.
The best part is we do live off Panama. So, like, my dad and I were driving down that, and both of us were going, Panama! Panama!
Oh no, he's getting to the spot in the song where it's slowing down. I might be
That's the reason it happened. Is
I
I
might
showed
be
him
able
that
to-
Family Guy
to catch up
episode.
to him at this moment.
Fun fact about that song: for years, even into my adulthood, I thought that song was saying "cannonball" for many years. Many years.
It does
My
kind of
fa-
sound like that though, and I've heard people sing it that way too.
I thought "Radar Love" was "Red Hot Love" for a very long time too.
Yeah, I did too.
I actually thought that too.
I think all of us did. at
Okay, I
one
don't feel
point.
as bad.
No, that's
I
a
get made fun
well,
of for
it's-
both of those like heavily.
well, then you have Jimmy. I can't think of the guy's name. The famous guitarist.
Which one?
Jimmy
The
Page.
no, the dude who did all the acid and vomit and died on his own vomit. Did
Hendrix?
the
Okay.
Jimi Hendrix?
Jimi Hendrix? There you go.
Yeah.
But anyway, like
That is the worst way to describe him.
well, he did a lot of acid and he choked on his own vomit and died. That's literally how he died. And he's part of the 27 Club, I think.
Unfortunately, he is.
Yeah, so sad.
I'm
But-
sad. I would have loved to have seen him.
Don't
Big
you
time.
know it?
What
That would have
song
been
were you gonna say?
amazing.
I forgot. I completely forgot.
It was a
Yeah.
Jimi Hendrix song. That people misconfused the lyrics.
Talking to the mic.
I don't want to. I'm yelling loud enough.
Get
And now I gotta
closer
watch
to
Wayne's
the
World
mic.
again. Damn it.
I don't really need to get closer. I'm loud enough. That's why I'm far
Okay.
away from it.
All right.
I'm seriously louder than the microphone at work.
Okay.
Like, they do these announcements. Attention staff.
That
But-
sounds good there. You're full.
Well, okay, I get it. I'm not going to suck off the mic just to be heard.
Press my face
Yeah,
up again.
I'm playing with these comments, guys.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. They say the heart of rock.
Oh,
the
sorry.
heart of rock and roll is in Topeka. Oh, is Topeka?
Topeka.
Was one for me.
Kansas.
Oh. Did that guy have how did Dave Brocky describe Kansas? The hair that just goes up like a Chernobyl.
What?
The band Kansas.
That wasn't Kansas.
No, he was talking about when they
Just as big as the Hindenburg and probably go up just as fast if you put this lighter
so
to it.
Dave Brocky, Guar actually came together and they did the little music thing where they would pick a song at random and they had to memorize it and do it. Well, they
Yeah,
actually did a
I love
Kansas
that.
song, and then he was actually making fun of Kansas, and he was like, "Oh, he had they all had those helmet hairs that they just go up like a Chernobyl."
It was a reference to Slaughterama.
Yeah.
Whoa, quite a hairdo. It's as big as the Hindenburg and probably go up just as fast if I put this lighter to it.
Love some Sliderama and Guar. I love Guar. I remember all those like little studio things they did though, because I watched the hell out of those, dude. Those were awesome.
They were great.
Carry on, my wayward son.
That might have been my favorite
Baritone
one,
Baritone in his
actually.
Shatner.
voice. Carry on my
You know
wayward
when he just dropped it
son.
and stopped singing and was just saying it?
He's all,
Yeah.
should it be
As
something else right now?
odorous. He was saying it in the odorous voice, but he was saying it. It wasn't even singing anymore. He was just like, "Carry on, my wayward
Well, he
son."
started off with that Billy Ocean song. Get out of my
Get
dreams.
out of my dreams
Yeah.
and up in my
The,
car.
the best part too is when he gets in there, he actually changes the atmosphere of it, where it's all "get out of my dreams and into my fucked up life." Like it's just the way he did it. I was like,
He's
I
all-
love Dave Brocky.
Wait, this doesn't make sense. I'll be your one pump lover.
I'll
get
be
it while
your
you
one pump
can.
lover. Get it while you can.
I'll be your all night lover. What?
Billy Ocean, lyrical genius. I don't care what anybody says. I do like that song a lot.
I miss
It's fun.
Dave
I
Brocky.
miss Dave Brocky. I miss
Yeah, I was listening to the DBX Experience.
Balzac too.
I freaking love Dave Brocky's punk stuff. Like he's so good. Like he's probably the ultimate punk. I would
He's
dare
such
say
an
he
awesome
was.
guy.
Okay, Dell. There's a website. I haven't seen new stuff on it in years, but there was this website called misheardlyrics.com. And they did Misheard Lyrics Illustrated, which was even funnier. And oh God, there was stuff like for Slipknot, it was like I push my fingers into my pies, and it's him standing there all
Inside Michelle, I wait and bleed.
It's just funny.
So tonight we're actually finally taking on our actual
our mascot.
Our
Gallagher.
mascot,
Yeah.
Mr. Applewhite, Marshall Applewhite. We're actually taking on. It's been a while. We should have did this a long time ago. Actually, we finally.
Well, I've got to tell you, and I may just be partial, but I think Mr. Applewhite is way cooler than Marshall Applewhite.
Oh, definitely.
Oh yeah. Mr. Applewhite doesn't exactly have a cult or anything like there that Marshall would. But you know
he
what?
would if he could. He would if he could.
Yeah, exactly. Marshall, but you know, Heaven's Gate was like the non-cult cult. It wasn't. You weren't forced to be in it.
He was like, you could totally leave, guys, if you want, but like we have really cool shit coming.
And then mostly he was just passive aggressive at the most toward people.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't. He never beat them. He never, and they never went above. I think they got at the max was like 200 people in their cult, and then they went down to like 80, and then by the time it was over with, I think it was like 38 or something like that. It wasn't much.
Right.
Man, the website's gone, by the way, but I did find the
bald-headed
woman, bald-headed woman to me.
I think you short.
Are you talking about that website or Heaven's Gate? Because now, wasn't Heaven's Gate website actually managed after they died?
It actually is still up today.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. That's what I thought you were talking about there for a second.
There are a couple that are left. They didn't go with the away team, which is what the people who that's what they called themselves. Everything was
they
Star
didn't go
Trek.
with the red shirts.
They literally took after the other one that we were not going to bring up here because we'll probably get sued because they're still very active in Hollywood.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The religion of beep beep boop boop.
Yeah. something Mother Hubbard or whatever they call themselves. I don't know.
The religion of beep beep boop boop.
But it's like all these nerds come together and they're like, oh my God.
Why do you think I have my Star Trek mug out?
We're misfits. We're being treated. That was the thing with Heaven's Gate. They're actually were being. It was more of a misfits cult than anything else. Like they were constantly being treated like crap by society. And it's something with Applewhite. If Marshall Applewhite was actually born later, say in the 70s, opposed to when he was born, I don't think he would have done this stuff. He would have been more accepted with his bisexuality and stuff like that.
Well, you know, and that always seems to be the case in a lot of these cult stories is that they actually started for all the right reasons. It's just somewhere along the way they got very, very lost. And that may just be, fault to kind of the human condition to where, there's, I don't know if he was driven by power or he just lost it.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, when we really start talking about all of them, do you mind if I actually read directly off their website?
Yeah, we can do all that because it's.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to come after us because they're.
No.
We're
not necessarily saying anything bad.
No,
I'm just reading their website.
Yeah.
I would dare say
cool.
I didn't like what Applewhite did because he really did. It wasn't a death cult until the very end, until they were like, okay, the comments there. That's where I forgot what's her Bonnie Nettle, but I think she was Bo or T or something like that. But they're like, okay, she died in 85, and now she's on the spaceship right now, behind the comet. So we all need to kill ourselves. It was kind of like out of nowhere when they saw that comment. That's when he was like, all right, we're all gonna kill ourselves, or he was like, I'm gonna kill myself, and then they all kind of went along with it. That's the weird thing with him. It wasn't exactly like he was forcing even that on them. Like it wasn't forcing the mass suicide on them. It was just they all did it.
He was like, if you want to join me, cool.
Yeah.
I still like Your Pretty Face is Going to Hell. Their jab at them.
The feet cult.
The foot cult.
The foot fetish.
Where they have the holes in their feet. So that
I
they
don't
can
know
be
this
placed.
one. What?
It's on Your Pretty Face is Going to Hell. By the way, I was listening, Henry
Love that.
Zabrowski, who is one of the main guys on last podcast on the left.
Yeah.
He was,
Okay. I thought
it's
I was
good.
like, I totally missed the cult with the holes in their feet.
No,
Yeah.
no, it's a jab.
It's a jab at
At pretty much all cults.
hello, William.
Well, you know, that's one of the
William.
things I was reading about Applewhite, you know, the Marshall Applewhite, was
Not our
that was
Applewhite.
kind of his thing. Not our Applewhite.
Not this one. This one has a hatchet and a TV for a head now.
He's a little confused.
He wants to
He's a
show
little
you some
busy.
hatchet love.
Yeah.
But I think he's Frankenstein's monster right now too, which
He's a little bit busy.
But he won't chop off your wee wee, I promise.
it was just their balls. And it was only 6 of them actually. It wasn't
Then how-
all of them.
How will we ever make the sequel to Frankenpenis?
Oh no.
The world is missing out.
But that was kind of, you know, the thing was that he did not push, you know, everybody's got to think one way. And, you know, the fact that they brought different aspects of different spiritual paths and religions and things like that, it was pretty much sure to catch the interest of, you know, several different people. Now, granted, you can get into the psychology of the kind of people that tend to be susceptible to, you know, cults in general, but he made it as accepting as possible.
And he also weeded people out. Like if they weren't supposed to be there, he would be like, all right, you gotta go. That's literally how he did it. Unlike Jim Jones,
Yeah.
which we
Who's
Our-
like, screw you all.
we are planning to cover Jim Jones, and Jim
Fuck
Jones
that
was
guy.
the opposite at the end. He was like, no one can leave, everyone's gonna die.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Well, and that's the thing too, is I don't want anybody to misunderstand. We're not like trying to say that you know, Marshall
Any of
Applewhite
us.
was a great man, or that we
No,
look
but,
up to anything that he did. We're just giving you 2 sides of what was going on, you know.
definitely was the last cult so far. I mean, there's still other cults in existence right now, but it was, I want
They're
to say
very
it actually was-
small, I think, in comparison,
Yeah.
except
This
for
is-
the beep a deep play.
Beep boop.
the spirits from the volcanoes that cause
Beep
bad
The beep
feelings
boop.
or something like that.
The beep boop. Yeah, there you go.
We just say the beep boop.
You when you look at pictures of Applewhite though, he does look very pained. Like not pained, but like very disturbed. You can tell he's gone through a lot in his life, everything like that.
You know, I think there must be something like you have to go somewhere and get like, you know, at the optometrist and say, I want the cult leader eyes. Give me the cult
But
leader eyes. Because a lot of
would-
them have that look.
Well, if you want to do the Jim Jones cult leader eyes, you just do a whole bunch of meth and speed and then never go to sleep. But if you want Applewhite's eyes, I don't know
I
how
want
to
to see
get him because
somebody
he was,
emulate Charles Manson.
he was 100% sober.
There's
That's
a
the thing with
picture on our in our brand
Mhm.
of him. If you want to pull it up, if any of us.
Okay. Let me take a look. Hang on just a second.
If you.
We're setting up training. This is also training right now, guys.
Oh no.
Trigger
I hit
warning.
something.
Trigger
What- oh,
warning! Explicit content.
We're gonna say fuck
all right,
off.
hold
That
on,
is
hold
true,
on.
though.
Hold on. Here we go.
Although we do need to read the other one.
There you go. That's
There
Marshall
he is.
Applewhite.
Yes.
Very different
Okay.
than Mr. Applewhite.
Hey, Mariah.
And it's
Not super nonchalant.
so let's do this one first.
Under the fair use, another author may make limited use of the original author's work without asking permission. Pursuant to 17 U.S. Code 107, certain uses of copyrighted material for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, including multiple copies for classroom use, scholarship, or research is not an infringement of copyright.
No,
Man.
not one bit. Me.
You gonna say it or
Warning.
what?
The
Warning: the
content.
related content may be disturbing to some individuals. If you don't like it, not my problem.
Suck it.
Suck it.
Do what you guys are gonna do and report and fuck off.
And then we have No time to
llama.
explain.
It's time to get in the llama.
You're discovering the.
I'm just having fun over here.
Button.
I'm unsupervised.
We represent the lollipop guild. The lollipop guild. The lollipop guild. Da 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 da, 'cause I don't know the words. Oh my Mercia.
Welcome to Mercia.
Hashtag Tony Anus. Where is Tyler? Oh, he won't pop in till the end.
I was gonna say, it's
Yeah,
way too early in the
lollipop
show.
chicken. Yeah, it's a little
When
early.
when I'm on 2%, he'll come in and be like, "Hi guys." Onward, fluffers! We ride at dawn.
By the way, if you guys don't know, my creepy stuffed animal thing got named last night. Wizzo named him Bananas.
Because it's
Banana.
BANANAS.
It's
Whoa.
BANANANANANANANA.
Banana.
His name is na.
You got to bring up Mariah's last comment. Hashtag.
Mercia rules. Mafioso Tyler Anus. It's no longer Tony Anus.
I don't know how he's
I
going to
don't
like that. What was it? It was Tory Anus before. Then he like.
Didn't he accidentally type Tony Anus?
Oh, by the
Yep.
way, that reminded me too how stoned I was.
Those were
I am
some
not
feet.
stoned
Those
tonight,
were
guys. I had an
great.
existential crisis that my mind was telling me, bro, you're gonna be fine, but my body, for some odd reason, was like, you're gonna die right now. So I was like,
Those are fun.
yeah, that was a weird night last night.
That's
I've
what
been
I
there, man.
usually have. So you experienced my normal.
Yeah, I was just laying there going, dear God, just hurry up and go through this. Then my body's all,
So here we go. Might as well get started here. I'm gonna start with
I'll be right back.
from heavensgate.com. Hail
Don't
Bob
throw your Heaven's
brings
Gate needs.
closure to Heaven's Gate. As was promised, the keys to Heaven's Gate are here again in Tai and Do, the UFO 2, as they were in Jesus and his Father 2,000 years ago. Whether Hail Bob has a companion or not is irrelevant from our perspective. However, its arrival is joyously very significant to us at Heaven's Gate. The joy is that our older member in the evolutionary level above human, the kingdom of heaven, has made it clear to us that Hail Bob's approach is the maker we have been waiting for. The time for the arrival of the
I'm not
spacecraft.
understanding any of this.
Yeah, neither am I. The time for the
Didn't Hanson write
arrival
a
of the
song about-
spacecraft from the level above human to take us home to their world in the literal heavens. Our 22 years of classroom here on planet Earth is finally coming to a conclusion. Graduation from the human evolutionary level. We are happily prepared to leave this world and go with T's crew. If you study the material on this website, you will hopefully understand our joy and what our purpose here on Earth has been. You may even find your boarding pass to leave with us during this brief window. We are so very thankful that we have been recipients of this opportunity to prepare for membership in their kingdom and to experience their boundless caring and nurturing.
Zoltan.
For the record, all the quotations were actually on the website.
That's hilarious.
Like every time I did this, I did the quotations around it. They were actually on the website.
I'm going to be honest. It's and not trying to disparage anybody, but that I couldn't even imagine thinking in those concepts.
Neither can I.
That I honestly don't know what they were trying to explain, other than they were very happy and they were going on a trip.
If it helps, a very famous band wrote a song about this and the Hale-Bopp comet. I think it was Hanson. It was called Hale-Bopp.
Mhm.
Bop. So it's
Marilyn
Hale-Bopp.
Manson was the oldest brother for a while. Then he became Marilyn Manson after his stint as Brian Warner.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to click on a link that says our position against suicide.
Interesting.
Yeah, you guys
Woo!
right now.
Here we go.
But you
We-
fast.
What?
You have to understand that these people didn't really believe what they were doing was suicide. They were just leaving their body, and they weren't exactly dying.
Yeah.
So,
They helped
We
them find the
know.
zipper for their human suit.
Well, so here we go. Our position against suicide. We know that it is only while we are in these physical vehicles, bodies, that we can learn the lesson needed to complete our own individual transition, as well as to complete our task of offering the kingdom of heaven to this civilization one last time. We take good care of our vehicles so they can function well for us in this task, and we try to protect them from any harm. We fully desire, expect, and look forward to boarding a spacecraft from the next level very soon in our physical bodies. There is no doubt in our mind that our being picked up is inevitable in the very near future. But what happens between now and then is the big question. We are keenly aware of several possibilities. It could happen that before the spacecraft comes, one or more of us could lose our physical vehicles, bodies, due to recall, accident, or the hands of some irate individual. We do not anticipate this, but it is possible. Another possibility is that because of the position we take in our information, we can find so much disfavor with the powers that control this world that there could be attempts to incarcerate us or to subject us to some sort of psychological or physical torture, such as occurred at both Ruby Ridge and Waco. Oh,
that is actually one thing that actually
Oh,
pushed.
wow.
jabs.
It's not just
Yeah.
jabs. That actually was what the government really messed up on
Well,
those, and
It-
it really pushed these cults too into going, okay, well, they're going to kill us anyway.
To be very defensive or take some sort of action.
Yeah,
It has always been our way to examine all possibilities and be mentally prepared for whatever may come our way. For example, consider what happened at Masada around 73 AD, a devout Jewish sect, after holding out against a siege by the Romans to the best of their ability and seeing that the murder, rape, and torture of their community was inevitable, determined that it was permissible for them to evacuate their bodies by a more dignified and less agonizing method. We have thoroughly discussed this topic of willful exit of the body under such conditions and have mentally prepared ourselves for this possibility, as can be seen in a few of our statements. However, this act certainly does not need serious consideration at this time and hopefully will not in the future. The true meaning of suicide is to turn against the next level when it is being offered. In these last days, we are focused on two primary tasks. One, of making a last attempt at telling the truth about how the next level may be entered, our last effort at offering to individuals of the civilization a way to avoid suicide. And two, taking advantage of the rare opportunity we have each day to work individually on our personal overcoming and change in preparation for entering the kingdom of heaven.
yeah, that was the thing too. Natalie, you brought up like how they were accepting of all people. They really were,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but what they did though, what Applewhite did, especially with I think her name was Body Nettle. I keep forgetting his partner's name.
Yeah, I think you're right.
They basically just took UFO or ufology, whatever how it's called, and literally just overlaid it on the Bible, and they were basically like, "Oh, Jesus."
It was
was
like
an
a
alien.
blend of like
Yeah.
science, pseudo science fiction,
Yeah.
fiction and religion. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Well,
So
I wanted to bring up what Mariah said real quick, and I know we normally don't go to comments, but I think
Oh,
what
you're
she
fine.
said was really good. It says, "Here's the thing: the concept is something that appears to those who are desperate for meaning. The thing
Appeals.
about this was the people entrenched in it were struggling and looking for something to give them meaning. This just
Keyword.
happened to be where they landed." And that's really true. And
It-
you know, I've got to say, it just seems like it's their own take, of course, but it was kind of turned into an end of the world cult.
yeah, it
You
was. It
know,
was
I
a
mean,
doomsday cult, but the
yeah.
weird part was it seemed to be more the people who were running the website that were all doom and gloom, but not doom
Hmm.
and gloom at the same time. They were like trying to hide it by saying, "Oh, well, relieving ourselves of this bodily form is not suicide if it is taking us to our God."
Real fast, guys. If you are suicidal in any way, shape, or form, and we do not condone this, we don't condone suicide or anything like that. Please contact, get help. Suicide hotlines right there. The audio side things 1-800-273-8255. Contact that. Yep. There's
Seven
always help.
741-741 does still work, but 988 is the new one as well.
And if you're in a cult, there's always help.
Yeah, actually, last time we spoke about cults, like really deeply, we had a couple people let us know that they had grown up in cults.
Unless you're part of the
Mhm.
collective. There's we're a different kind of cult. We're corporate now.
We're a
We're like
cult.
the Undertaker corporate ministry days.
Yeah, it was so good. Don't
Oh.
don't start. I'm gonna go off on it because it's so good.
Oh, great and powerful Oz. There is a picture of
Okay.
how they believe a member of the kingdom of heaven might appear.
And they believe this was sexy too.
Ooh la la.
Right here. It's a sexy gray.
They're grays.
Well, and that's what I was trying to figure out. So we have been like completely confused. Actually, when we pass on, we don't go through the tunnel. We actually get a boarding pass to a spaceship and fly to heaven.
It's not a
That's
boarding pass.
according to them. No. It is a boarding pass. It literally
Well,
says
it's a
boarding pass.
Well, that's how
you
they
were
were.
not in the room for that part.
Well, no, I know what you're talking about. It's basically you just get beamed up to your if at that time because the spaceship was right there behind the comet because they
It's a
couldn't
golden
see it because
ticket.
the comet was so bright. You're beamed up after as soon as you leave your physical body. You move to another physical plane, which was which they believed that Pluto and those exoplanets out there were actually starships, just planet size. And you go
T
there.
and dough.
You also heaven was a
So there's going to
physical
be
place.
Saint Peter that goes, "God, I'm giving it all she's got."
Pretty much. Yeah,
So
heaven was a
now I'm more
physical place you
confused
could go to.
because like our physical body is a vehicle. You're very clear about the wording on that. They were calling in the physical body a vehicle. So between that and all the different vehicles I got to switch to, it starts making me feel like my life can be summed up by this scene in Independence Day where they've got the controls for the spaceship upside down and then they like bump into something and like oops and they flip it the right way. That I feel like that now sums up my life if this is a real thing.
Right?
All I know is this
Can my vehicle be a
physical-
hot rod? I don't want to be an electric car. I really
I
don't.
want the RV from Spaceballs. That's all I care about.
this physical
Winnebago.
this vehicle that I'm in right now is fueled by pizza and edibles and beers.
But is it Pizza the Hut?
So he's got the hippie van. He's got the Volkswagen hippie van.
I
Vehicle.
guess so.
You know what's crazy? Is that they have statements by students and Bible quotes substantiating our position.
They literally farmed the shit out of the Bible trying to prove their point. That's
I am so clicking. Whoa!
yeah, there's a lot of stuff there. I mean, that's why we have the basic information on Applewhite and Hell and Heaven's Gate. It's
Well, they kind of had to encompass everybody, is what it sounded like.
Yeah.
Because it sounds to me like, there may have been, well, this is kind of our thought about when you want to exit your vehicle, and somebody may have been brought up from like a Christian and said, well, I've always thought that wasn't right. And so, I mean, I'm assuming, I'm throwing stuff at the wall, but it would make sense because if you read about how this cult was, how Heaven's Gate was, is they just took everything and threw it like in a stirring pot and said, this is what we believe.
Oh yeah. I'm like,
This
just
What?
going into their website at this point. So
Is my
you know.
phone
May
over there?
sound super stupid, but there's an awesome comedy zombie TV show called Z Nation. Don't know who's seen it, who's not seen it. I
I've
like
heard
it
of
more
it.
than
I
I've
Walking
seen
haven't
parts
watched
of it.
it.
Yeah.
I love it far more than Walking Dead. There is an episode called Roswell because they have a lot of Z's in all the titles, and
Yeah.
it is literally about a cult that believes in just about the same thing. So just remember this episode and look up the name of it. Very similar to the ideas, like right down to like the drama behind it and how truly people believe in it and why. And that whole episode was dedicated to that. It just takes place in like after the apocalypse in Roswell, which isn't location correct, but the whole concept of the cult and everything they say about it is spot on to a lot of the stuff I'm hearing tonight and things I've looked up previously. Like it's crazy how
Yeah.
close it is.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, and this particular cult of all the cults have gotten the most. Maybe it's not the right descriptor, but the most Pulp Fiction like exposure, because we were
What was the
talking about
first?
that earlier.
They were the first cult that actually had a website. I mean, they had, I think it was roughly 1 or 2 members that came in because of the website, but which I mean, I know I put in the hashtags when I was putting the episode up that it's the internet cult, but that's what they were dubbed by the news by the media and stuff like that.
the,
Mhm.
the fact that it's still up and running to me.
Well, the last time it was updated, it was 3/22/97.
No, that was when this was issued.
Oh, you're right.
So
This is the server is actually housed on the island in Lost in that bunker.
Right?
I believe that was what the Daily Button Press was actually for.
Wouldn't it be crazy if
Update.
they're there right now?
Update.
They're actually on
Update.
that island because they're like, we fucked up. Are you serious?
I got something more to read that
Okay.
just you guys gotta hear. It
Everybody
says,
simmer
to
down.
be issued to the news media on 3/22/97. By the time you read this, we suspect that the human bodies we were wearing have been found and that a flurry of fragmented reports have begun to hit the wire services. For those who want to know the facts, the following statement has been issued. Heaven's Gate away team returns
The red,
to level
aka the
above
red
human-
shirts.
Yep, red shirts.
They were all red shirts. That's why they died.
Above human to
Should've
level
lowered
above
up.
human in distant space. Rancho Santa Fe, California. By the time you receive this, we'll be gone. Several dozen of us. We came from the level above human in distant space, and we now have exited the bodies that we were wearing for our earthly task to return to the world from whence we came. Task completed. The distant space we refer to is what your religious literature would call the kingdom of heaven or the kingdom of God.
Real fast. They them dying took place over the span of 3 days. So you had a couple die at a time, and then you also had people just sitting there having to watch them die and deal with it. Like, and then they were still like they were determined. They still were like, okay, it's our turn now.
We came.
I have a
for-
question after this. Wait, go ahead. I'm
What?
sorry. I was going to
we
say I have a
came for-
question after this.
Okay. We came for the purpose of offering a doorway to the kingdom of God at the end of this civilization, the end of this age, the end of this millennium. We came from that level, that time, that space, and entered this one. And in so doing, we had to enter human bodies, which we did for the most part in the mid 70s. Now, it was time for us to leave those vehicles, bodies that we borrowed for the time we were here by previous arrangement for a specific task. The task was not only to bring in information about the evolutionary kingdom level above human, but to give us the experience of working against the forces of what the human evolutionary level at this time has become. And while it was a good learning experience for us, it also gave all who ever received knowledge from that kingdom an opportunity to recognize us and this information and to even move out of the human level and into the next level or the next evolutionary level, the kingdom of heaven.
Quote unquote.
The kingdom of God. The kingdom of God, the level above human, is a physical world where they inhabit physical bodies. However, those bodies are merely containers, suits of clothes. The true identity of the individual is the soul or mind, spirit, residing in that vehicle. The body is merely a tool for that individual's use. When it wears out, he is issued a new one.
Can I interject real fast? Do you notice how Applewhite? Because I obviously he didn't put this up on the website, but whoever did was taking it directly from his
Smoking
verbiage.
weed.
he
That was some good shit, apparently.
he was completely
This
sober.
sounds like a weed dream.
He's
It does.
It sounds like a shroom
100%
dream.
sober. All of them were. It was actually highly against their rules to try any of it. But the repetitiveness of the things he keeps saying, the kingdom of God and the level next, it's just how he did it. And
Weird.
you can go watch his tapes on YouTube, and it's
Weird.
weird. It's absolutely the way
Yeah.
his verbiage is
I swear
absolutely
he
weird.
doesn't blink.
It's cringe. It's very cringy.
Well,
I
and
just found out-
my question was, I'm trying to figure out what were these tasks again that they completed?
They didn't really say other than
So there,
to tell people about the next kingdom,
it wasn't
the
just
next
that.
evolutionary kingdom,
It,
and to tell them about tea and dough.
No. it wasn't just that. Their task
Okay.
was to emulate God and the angels, the aliens, and stuff like that. And in order for them to move on, their task were to be there was no sex. There
Be
was
virtuous.
it wasn't just virtuous. They couldn't experience things. They had to live without. Like, it was just so it was surprising that they were allowed to buy Nikes. No joke.
They were Adidas.
Was it Adidas? I thought it was Nikes.
I thought it was Adidas.
No, it was Nikes. It even says on the notes.
So
I,
here, let
I
me
think
finish
Texas
this.
may be right. I think.
Yeah, he might be. It might have been Adidas tracksuits.
It may have been.
Who knows?
But so no one can enter the kingdom of heaven by trying to live a good life in this world and then thinking that when the world's life takes your body, you get to go to heaven. The only italics and bold, by the way, time that next kingdom can be entered is when there is a member or members of that kingdom who have come into the human kingdom, incarnated as we have incarnated, whatever. He's put incarnated as we have, offering clarification of that information. To get into a disincarnate condition just by disconnecting from your body doesn't mean that you're going to go anywhere, whether that loss of body is premature or not. When we step out of our vehicle, we have to know where and who our tour guide, our shepherd, is for what's next. We have to know we can connect with a shepherd whom we trust, and that we have decided if that shepherd will have me, I want to continue to be a sheep, and I will do everything I can to please that shepherd. Periodically, that next level sends a representative, a shepherd, and offers a graduation class, offers life out of this evolutionary level into the next evolutionary level. And we are at the end of one of those times. Tea and dough were the names used by the representatives of the next level, the kingdom of God, sent to the surface of this planet to serve as our teachers, midwives at this time. During a brief window of time, some may wish to follow us. If they do, it will not be easy. The requirement is to not only believe who the representatives are, but to do as they and we did. You must leave everything of your humanness behind. This includes the ultimate sacrifice and demonstration of faith. That is, the shedding of your human body. If you should choose to do this logistically, it is preferred that you make this exit somewhere in the area of the west or southwest of the United States. But if this is not possible, it is not required. You must call on the name of tea and dough to assist you. In so
Tito.
doing, Tito.
About do re mi. I mean, come on.
I know, right?
Exactly. You got it, Raz.
In so
The
doing,
hill. Oh, the space is alive with the sound of music. This is how I know I would not do well in a cult.
Oh,
All
right?
this stuff being said just makes me want to walk up to whoever's saying it and just like slap the shit out of them.
I would have just left by now.
Yeah, right?
Which is what a lot of people did. They heckled
No.
them. No joke.
I'm the guy that
I
would
wouldn't
stay
heckle
in
them.
the
I just, it makes me want to slap somebody.
I would like get into the part where I could help write the indoctrination stuff for the cult to just start slipping even weirder and more random shit into it to see how far I could go before they noticed it. Because that sounds like inevitably a lot.
That sounds like
of what
what
happens.
somebody did.
And thus he
So,
fed
in so
upon the
doing-
rabbits and the
I'm
orangutan.
just saying I was alive in the 90s, so
In so doing, you will engage a communication of sorts, alerting a spacecraft to your location,
The
where
fuck?
you will be
Snapchat.
picked up after shedding your vehicle and taken to another world
I was just
by
shedding it a
members of
minute
the
ago.
kingdom of heaven. Only a member of the next level can give you life, can take you out of death, but it requires that you disconnect, separate from the last element holding you to the human kingdom.
Dear God, everything is Star Trek with these guys too.
We
Separate.
know what we're saying. We know it requires
Disengage.
a leap of faith, but
You think?
it's deliberate, designed for those who would rather take that leap than stay in this world. We suggest that anyone serious about considering this go into their most quiet place and ask, scream, with all of their being, direct their asking to the highest source they can imagine beyond Earth's atmosphere to give them guidance. Only those chosen by the next kingdom will know that this is right for them and will be given the courage required to act.
This is all taken again directly from the Heaven's Gate website.
Yep.
So now you have to be chosen.
It's so
Yep.
everything on this. What they even the sentences on this is just laborious, man. It just
Well, so here we go. I just have one little part left. This is what they believed the Bible told them. Okay.
the Holly Bibble.
This is from the Bible.
dum 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 dum.
Therefore doth my Father love me, because I lay down my life, that I might take it again. No man taketh it from me, but I lay it down of myself. I have power to lay it down, and I have power to take it again. This commandment have I received of my Father. John 10:15-18.
What about Austin 3:16? Is it in there?
He that believeth on me, the works that I do, shall he do also. John 14:12. And except the Lord shorten those days, and except that the Lord shorten those days, none shall be saved. For the elect's sake, whom he has chosen, he hath shortened the days. Mark 13:12.
Okay, I'm not making fun of anybody, but that part right
But I'm
there.
making fun of
I'm getting to the point to where I am. I'm like, my eyes are glazing over here.
He shortened the day. I was like, they were even shortening and extending the days back then.
Well, it's
The
5 p.m. I'm
stupid
done.
time change.
He who loves his life will lose it.
He who
And he who hates his life in this world will keep it for eternal life.
Damn it.
John 12:25. And the last one. Blessed are the dead who die in the Lord.
in the Lord.
That's what it says. Revelation 14:13.
I thought it was
That
like
is quite a
blessed the little
revelation.
children or something like that. I'm sorry.
Not in
Suffer the
Revelation.
little children.
Oh.
Mariah, I am the Messiah. Oh, hey, Nadine. Hey, John. Sorry.
Nadine.
A couple
Yep.
things I was wanting to jump in there on. Okay, number one, like you're talking about how like you would get like a message from someone, right? So is that like
He and Doe.
and right, and it's
Tito.
the whole thing is of their design.
Tito.
So I feel like if I get accepted, I'm gonna get this text message that says, Jim, your SpaceX Uber driver will arrive in 18 minutes. That's how I feel like if you're not on the West
Here's your
Coast, I feel like that's how
passport.
that's gonna go. Like
It's actually it's just
And
Elon Musk.
then when you get there, like the doors
exactly.
go,
That's where I'm going with this. That's why I called it SpaceX Uber.
like they fucked up on their time. They just had to wait for Elon Musk to have their vessel ready to go to Mars. Is
know.
what it was.
And then they'll clone him like 1,000 times, so all the drivers are just Elon Musk.
Pretty much.
does that mean they're like circling Pluto right now, going, "Dope,
I
dope"?
don't think
Yep.
they haven't even. I don't think they've made
Kids,
it
Big
to Pluto
Ben.
yet.
Okay, I just noticed.
That's a long ways away.
I just noticed the comment from John.
Yeah, I saw that. You talking
Was
about that
it,
one?
That one.
You know, by accident, I stumbled onto Heaven's Gate's website a week before they killed themselves. I didn't take much notice, just thought they were weird. Yeah, that's what a lot of people thought. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, there was one person they purposely kept alive. He was to tell their story, and then he did. And then people, I think it was like, I want to say it was about a week later after the smell started getting to people. And mind you, this wasn't just their away team spaceship in San Diego. I don't know. I'm kidding, but it was their house.
Rancho Santa Fe.
Yeah, it was. Well, it's outside of San Diego, and then like it wasn't just there. They had a couple other houses that over the span of 3 or 4 days, in the Southwest too, that they killed themselves too. It was I think a total of like 39 people that did it.
Fun fact: more than one person survived.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, check this out.
Oh,
I just did a little bit of snooping about the website, like while she was reading the website, because I was interested, because we were talking about how it's still up and going and it still looks like it's from the 90s.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's been multiple articles that get done. It looks like 2012, 2022, almost like every 10 years after this. It is currently run by, let's see, Mark and Sarah King, who will actually email you in return on their own time if you email on the bottom of the site. And the most they've come out that anyone's been able to get out in decades is that they were a part of the cult in some way, but won't specify how, and that they formed a company under the direction of Applewhite called Tela.
Yep.
Telah, which is mentioned on this site, that still is running now, because it is the Tela Foundation or the Tela Services that funds the upkeep of the website, continues the print of the book in some places and everything.
Yep.
Yes, and they both live in Phoenix, Arizona. Yep.
Yeah.
That is their actual address. What's not their address? It's their PO box or whatever it is. But
I honestly feel
Where do the
bad for them.
Tribbles come in? Because I really
that
dig the
office
Tribbles.
exists.
Yeah.
It's just interesting that like they're adamantly keeping it up. It's really
They haven't made it on their voyage.
I would like to
Tribble
speak
yet.
to the Tribble department, please.
that sounds troubling.
It is honestly though. It is sad like how this happened, how this came about. Like it's just.
It really is.
So why keep it up? Why continue to pay for it this many decades later and like keep
They
this up,
still-
keep copies of
they-
the book in print?
They obviously still believe it. That's why they still believe that this is actually still there's still a chance for them later on when it's
Yeah.
time.
They do claim that they really send out information because hardly anyone requests it or actually messages them for information, but they still provide it.
The thing that I'm looking at right now is Earth exit statements by students. So Chakotay's,
I don't know if you want to read.
Glenotti's,
I saw
and
those too. Yeah.
Karati's.
These are their actual. Basically, I think.
I'm not.
No, I think it's
reading-
their suicide notes.
Yeah,
is what it is.
I'm not reading them out loud. They're too long.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
they're very
Just their
long.
names.
But their names, CHKODY, GLNODY, CRRODY. Only three.
Weren't their
students.
names supposed to be like gender, human, anything? Like they were supposed to be very like non-specific or something. I remember reading something weird
something
about
along
how
those
they came
lines,
up with
yeah.
their names.
But I think when we do get into the
Do we want to talk about Applewhite first or the actual cult?
let's talk about it's up to you. We can go Applewhite. Applewhite is just history, like where he's from, all that stuff. But
And,
His
and
middle
again,
name is
not our
Yeah,
Applewhite.
Middle name sounds like
He wants to give you hatchet love.
Do I have this
Yeah.
right that he's a junior technically?
Yes.
yeah,
yes.
he actually is.
His name is Marshall Herf
Herf.
Applewhite
Herf.
Jr.
You
That's a
know,
little
there
bit
is
like-
a
is he a nerf
theory
herder?
on juniors,
nerf herder.
such as there is a theory on the Florida man.
What's the theory on the Florida man? I'm curious.
Every article you ever read that mentions a Florida man, it's just one guy.
It's one person.
Yeah.
Yep.
Florida man.
Or they've done something like throw alligators at people or stick things up their butt.
Gators.
Or drive a riding lawnmower down the street with different multicolored sizes of dildos pasted to it. That was one of the other really big ones. Yeah, it's all Florida man.
Okay, so
Are you sure it's not a Jersey asshole who lives in Florida?
Nope, it's Florida. It's Florida man.
You can take the Jersey. What would I say? You can't take the Florida out of some people.
Yeah, if Florida's a huge dick and it's up
You can
that
take them out of
Jersey
Florida, but you
assholes.
can't take the Florida out of them.
There you go. Yeah,
So-
you take them out of Florida, but not take Florida out of them.
that picture that we had, by the way, was actually from an initiation video for Heaven's Gate in '96. By the way,
It's
and
one of his class videos, and I can't even look at his picture right now. It's
trips
causing
me out.
anxiety.
his
yeah,
middle
just looking
name
at
is
it.
like a cat puking.
Yeah.
Perv.
It really is. Yeah.
Excuse me.
So he
Need
was
to
born May
perv
17,
in your direction.
He was born May 17, 1931 in Spur, Texas.
It was
He
a
died
Tuesday and it was raining.
March 26, 1997 at the age of 65
He's
in
not
Rancho
dead.
Santa Fe.
He's on Pluto right now.
Wait. I'm getting to this. Hold on. His cause of death was suicide by suffocation.
So someone actually suffocated him then.
No, he did it himself.
Yeah.
How did he suffocate himself?
I know somebody who did it.
Oh, did he use gas?
I don't know.
Because I thought they actually
It
all.
doesn't go into detail yet.
Well, the crazy
I
thing
thought
is
they
the rest of
took
them.
something.
They took, I think it was phenobarbital and like something else
Maybe
to chase
he
it.
took that and then wrapped his face.
Like you
in
can't
plastic.
breathe, so technically
Yeah.
you would suffocate.
Um,
Maybe. I don't
So
know.
his other names were Doe, Tiddly, Nincum, and Guinea.
Oh yeah, and then
Nincompoop.
Nincum.
what's her face is
Did she go by poop?
I
no,
paid
she went
Guinea to
by-
see that nincompoop.
she
If you
went
start
by-
with
he went
Nincom,
by
I can't think of
guinea and
anything
she
else
went by
to pull it up.
pig. Guinea pig.
But did she also go by poop if he went by
Yeah.
Nincum?
Something like that.
I've
yeah.
never heard anything start with Nincom that didn't end with poop. Like I don't. I just can't think of a phrase or a word that starts with Nincom.
So his alma maters, plural, were Austin College. He got his bachelor's. And University of Colorado, he has his master's degree. It doesn't say in
He
what.
was he was like a music teacher and stuff like that. And he was also he was really good at it too.
I was
We
almost
haven't got
expecting
there yet.
Miskatonic University to just tossed in there somewhere.
So he was the founder of Heaven's Gate. He was married to Ann Pierce. They had 2 children. And his parents were Marshall Herf Applewhite Sr. and Louise Applewhite.
You know the crazy thing is this never
Oh,
happened.
Herpy.
Applewhite would be a very good name from the South and stuff like that. No joke. That's a good name. It is. But then this stuff happened, and then now we have a mascot.
Right?
Mariah found one that didn't end in poop.
What?
You gotta go back to it.
Wow.
Inconceivable. He was a herf nerder. Yes.
Yep.
Yes,
Yep.
Del. Hi,
Hi, Raven.
Raven.
Hey,
I'm coming back over here. I'm clicking on random
right,
shit at this point.
Continue.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. I'm just like clicking and I'm like, wrong thing, wrong.
Tiddly.
Winks.
So
Yep, that's the other one. Tiddly.
he
That's going to be my name.
You
You can be Tiddly, I'll be Winks.
I'm down. I'm down.
So I can't with this shit. I'm sorry.
I'm so
Marshall
I'm like
Herf
just so tired.
Applewhite
I'm silly.
Jr., also known as Doe, among other names, was an American cult leader who founded what came to be known as Heaven's Gate cult group and organized their mass suicide in 97. Okay, I'm sorry. But why would you decide that 97 was the end of the world?
You comment. Hellbop comment.
Comment.
I get
Hellbop.
that, but like 1997 is just like such a weird like
So what
Like
we're
there
gonna
was
get
so
into
many
later,
cool
though,
things going on in '97. I'd be like,
there was.
Can you
But still.
hold off to maybe, I don't know, 2020 or something?
Exactly.
Right.
What we're gonna get into later.
2003. We didn't need that year. We could just cut that
When
one out.
That's
It's fine.
Bonnie
That's true,
Nettle
yeah.
died in 1985 of cancer. By the way, she didn't. When the minute she got cancer, it was in her head. It was like, okay, it's time to shed this mortal coil and go up to the starship. She didn't even get chemo. None of it. She just let herself die.
She's too
It really.
good for a coil. She
Not there
is
yet,
in
Mom.
a vehicle.
I'm sure she at least phoned home first.
Should have.
So as a young man, Applewhite attended several universities and served in the Army. He initially pursued a career in education until he resigned from the University of St. Thomas in Houston in 1970, citing emotional turmoil. His father's death a year later brought on severe depression. And in 72, Applewhite developed a close friendship with Bonnie Nettles, who was a nurse, and they would regularly discuss mysticism at length and concluded that they were called as divine messengers. What?
What?
I was just laughing about that.
New UCSW.
You can't sit with us.
T-shirt. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm all what?
Herf nerder.
It took me a minute too.
No, I was more focused on the acronym. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, what's going on here?
We need new shirts to say
I
Herf
know.
Nerders.
I know.
But okay, so they discussed at length mysticism, and they had concluded that they were called as divine messengers. They operated a bookstore and teaching center for a short while, and then began traveling around the United States in 1973 to spread their views. They gained only one convert.
Yep.
In 1975, Applewhite was arrested.
I've heard you have to be careful of those bookstore owners.
Yeah, right.
Gotta be careful
And fuck the
those-
people that write those books.
for those adult bookstore owners. They're fine. Go hang out with them. They have all the pornos and stuff like that. It's good.
So they gained only one convert. And in 1975, Applewhite was arrested for failing to return a rental car. And he was put in jail for 6 months.
What he did.
And in jail, he further developed this theology.
What he did though with that car, he one of his it wasn't just one convert. He actually had a few of them. And the chick decided to go back to her family. She left her family.
At the time, it was only one.
Okay, so this girl like literally there was a couple of them. It wasn't just one. They actually left her family, kid, everything like that. Took the credit card, and then like they got a car. Technically, the car was stolen from what he did with the credit card and everything like that. Had
Right.
to go back. The woman finally decided to go back, and the husband pressed charges against him. Everything, yeah. It's
It was that drive from point A to point B, having to listen to their philosophy, and she said, "I'm done."
she's like,
I'm going
fucking
home.
done
She's
with
all,
this
okay,
shit.
And
you
I'm
guys are
spent.
fucking nuts.
You're psycho.
Hey,
Wait,
remember you-
she's all, wait, no, you're
Just
not
put
psycho.
me out
You're
here,
so,
please. Thank you.
You're so plain. You're not psycho, and this is actually bothering me even more.
I feel a little sad that they could only get like supposedly one convert. I feel like in an hour I could get like way more than one.
I don't know.
Technically, wouldn't she be like half a convert?
I'm gonna
Yeah,
try
'cause
this
she-
experiment soon, I think, and just see how many co-members I can get in a day.
Yeah, so in 73 was when they only gained one convert. In 75 was when they had a couple more, and that situation that Hexus mentioned happened.
Kind of like 2.5 children.
Yes. Everybody has 2.5 children. I don't know where ours are, but
2.5 converts.
do 2.5 do 2.5 dogs count?
It does to me.
I say Patty is half a dog because she's like 25 pounds at most. So after Applewhite's release, he and Nettles traveled to California and Oregon, eventually gaining a group of committed followers. They told their followers that they would be visited by extraterrestrials who would provide them with new bodies. Hashtag Mercia. Hashtag Accia Mafioso. Hashtag Tony Anus. Hashtag Herfnerder. I Applewhite initially stated that he and his followers would physically ascend to the spaceship, where their bodies would be transformed. But later, he came to believe that their bodies were mere containers to their souls, which would later be placed into the new bodies. These were ideas that were expressed with language drawn from Christian eschatology and the New Age movement and American pop culture.
So I do have a question, and I don't think we've covered it unless we kind of sort of did. Do they turn into grays?
I think that's
Yeah,
what
They
they were
do.
getting at.
Okay.
Yes.
He-
Okay.
They are genitalless. They actually their nose are shaved down. They have no ears. They're supposed to be, and he was saying they're going to be sexy in their own right, but they're grays.
Yep.
Which is
None of this would have happened if they would have had a trunk monkey.
exactly. Just-
So
it would have stopped everything right then. Well, was it a GM or was it a Ford? We don't know. If it was GM, then yeah, you would
It
have
was
had a
the
trunk
alien
monkey.
edition of the trunk monkey.
It was a Tesla.
Heaven's Gate received an influx of funds in the late 70s, which it used to pay for housing and other expenses. In 85, Nettles died, leaving Applewhite distraught and challenging his views on physical ascension. In the early 90s, the group took more steps to publicize their theology. In 96, they learned of the approach of the Hale-Bopp comet and rumors of an accompanying rumors of an accompanying spaceship, concluding that it was the vessel that would take their spirits on board for a journey to another planet, believing that their souls would ascend to the spaceship and be given new bodies. The group members committed mass suicide in a rented mansion.
Yeah.
Do you think Nettles' death is what kind of pushed him over
Yeah.
the edge?
Yes.
Because I had heard something about it. It was real hard for him to kind of be by
they
himself.
were
Yeah.
partners because obviously he was bisexual. He was probably more into like men and stuff like that than he was into women, but they were both misfits. They were both exactly they complemented each other, and where he was the charisma, she was the actual the
Brain.
well, not just the brain. She had all the cult knowledge and all that stuff. She was very much into the
That's what I meant.
esoteric.
Esoteric.
Yeah, she was very much into the esoteric side of things, and she brought a lot of this together.
Well, so they committed suicide in a rented mansion, which is super shitty, by the way.
He did have it wasn't just the
I remember
rent.
seeing the pictures of that.
They didn't just have
Like-
that mansion just for that one time. That was the mansion they lived in.
No, I know, but it was still rented. They had to pay
Yeah.
rent monthly, which is super shitty to expect others to have to pick up your abandoned vehicles.
Your
That's a
stank.
quote for you.
Have to clean up your
Oh.
stank.
Yep.
So I wonder, is that mansion still there?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I haven't looked.
I would imagine, being how California is, it is probably,
It probably is. I don't know.
and it's a tourist destination. No joke, probably.
Well,
I was going to say
Um,
ghost hunting tourist destination. What? Yeah.
right? Well, a media circus followed the discovery of their bodies. In the aftermath, commentators and academics discussed how Applewhite persuaded people to follow his commandments, including the suicide. Some commentators attributed his followers' willingness to commit suicide to his skill as a manipulator, while others argued that their willingness was due to their faith in the narrative that he constructed. Hey,
Hey,
Melissa.
Melissa. Melissa says hi, everyone.
Hello.
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 I'm debating, like, there's a lot of stuff that we don't necessarily need to go into.
I think this might be a good spot to stop because we are almost at an hour and a half, and we could do part 2.
Are we?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh my
First
God.
episodes this one went by fast.
So we can actually start getting into, like, I'm highlighting that we have early life and education,
Yeah.
but really, I mean, there's very, very simple stuff here.
His education, his career, and stuff like that is it's fine to get into, but the real meat and potatoes of this is going to be the Heaven's Gate aspect of this, the actual what
Mhm.
they did and how they did things,
Yeah.
which is
Well, the one thing that you want to mention is that he did study theology,
yeah, he did.
and he got his bachelor's in it, I believe.
Yeah.
And then that's when he started focusing on musical theater later
Yep.
on.
He was very much an actor at some point. So, hey, Shelby.
He was a good actor.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Age.
All right.
So, I guess we'll stop right here.
Are we gonna stop right here?
Yeah, and then in part 2 we'll get into Heaven's Gate, the real.
The actual cult itself.
Yep.
Okay.
So, and that's it. That's it.
Sorry for taking so much over, but I got onto that website and I was
No,
like, you guys need to hear
no,
this.
Now this
The
was
website was
interesting.
perfect.
This was
So-
super interesting.
This is
I feel
where
like that
we're
was the information
saying-
we needed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is what we were saying earlier. This was the cultist non-cult. It's weird. It's a very weird cult. It's not like anything else.
It
We
is,
got to
and like
go-
I said, it seems to fall into pop culture. I just every time we talk about it, all I can think of is Star Trek.
Yeah, well, that's-
and
Okay.
going to like
Screw Attack, if you guys know what that is.
Dragon Con.
Okay.
I mean, that's where you would have probably found some of these people, I guess. I mean, I'm a
Well-
huge nerd anyway, but yeah, I can't do
I
that.
forgot what I was gonna say. My brain stopped.
Yeah, I absolutely do not do groupthink. It's
No.
not. This is what happens when too much groupthink goes on. And
Yeah,
when you get in an
yeah.
echo chamber, and
Yes.
mind you guys, when you're in an echo chamber, you can't hear people on the outside, and you're just stuck.
I feel like when you were starting to talk about echo chamber, you should actually turn your echo up, because that would have been like really funny if it just gradually went up while you were talking.
Echo chamber. No one can hear me. Yes.
I'm gonna have to change my for at least for the Applewhite episodes. I have to change my sign off. I can't say "suck it" anymore. I think I'm gonna start saying "beam things up with your mouth." That's what sucking really is, isn't it? Just beaming things up with your mouth.
That would be kind of like a black hole too, though, wouldn't it?
Yep.
That's the
And then
ex-wife.
somebody's got to change it from suck to blow, and then that's the whole other thing.
The ex-wife beamed up a lot of condoms and stuff like that. And
We've got plaid.
we've
I've been
She was the
glad.
Event Horizon, huh?
yeah. Once you got past a certain point, you were just sucked into that lippy thing.
Spacey,
was
wacy, timey,
cunnilingus.
wimey.
Just turned into strange matter.
And if you look at the window to your left, you'll see General Starspawn. Everyone wave hello.
And everyone over to the right, you'll see Shubna Guroth herself and the Black Goat of the Woods right
And
there,
space cats for no reason.
and a poor little
Are
Guatemalan
they alive?
child.
Are they
Yeah.
not? I assume that we are in Schrodinger's space.
We're in Schrodinger's vagina. There's lots of. Is the cat in Schrodinger's vagina dead or alive? It's both.
See, that reminds me of Woody Allen's. What was it all about? Everything you wanted to know about sex, but was afraid to ask. We've
With
got to
giant
find
titties?
that movie.
With
Or,
a giant titty that was.
Yes, that would chase people around and squirt them with milk.
It was
Yeah.
so good. I love that movie.
And then, like Woody Allen and all them, they were dressed up as like the sperm and like, yay! Oh, false
That's
alarm.
reminding me of Rihanna's halftime show now.
Yeah.
Don't
And
they-
then that reminds me of
People
Monty
dressed
Python and
up as sperm.
Meaning of Life, because every sperm
Yeah.
is sacred.
I can't read anymore. And he just stuffs one more thing and then he blows up. What was
That's
that?
what she
Was that the
said.
meaning? That wasn't the meaning of life. Which one? Monty Python.
Always look on the bright side of life.
And the corporate takeover. The corporate pirates were great on Monty Python.
I can't. Whistle.
I can't whistle either.
I know. We're sitting here blowing it to the microphone.
Yeah.
I'm a, oh, I got spit all over my mouth. I really did do that. There's so
I licked that yesterday.
yes, you did.
She did.
What
I
about
watched
I was
her.
like,
Oh, right.
Well, this has been
Uh,
fun. I had a good time.
Yeah.
I had two
So-
Nice to
like
be back.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, John
Yes.
would like to know when part 2 is going to be.
Part 2 will be out in 2 weeks.
Mhm.
We do You Can't Sit With Us bi-weekly. That's when we have
Yes.
time for it. Because we have everything else going on in
Bi-monthly.
between there.
Bi-monthly.
Yeah.
Bi-monthly, I'm sorry.
No,
Yeah.
is it
No,
bi-monthly?
Bi-weekly's right.
Bi-monthly.
Bi-weekly,
Bi-weekly,
every
okay.
other
Okay.
week. Tomorrow
yeah,
night,
yeah.
what's going on
Please
tomorrow night?
explain it to me slowly because I am extremely tired. Thank you.
we have our fun shows in between the work show, which this is the work show,
Mhm.
which you can also check out on Spotify and Spotify and
Yes, and hit, like the like stuff,
make sure you
like it.
5 stars, all that stuff.
5 stars.
Yes.
John, you can go listen to all the
Five-star.
previous episodes on Spotify right
Or
now.
the website.
Or the website, yep.
On the website too.
Check out the website.
So tomorrow, somebody's back.
Who?
I don't know.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
I don't know. Don't you have her locked in a coffin?
Dusty Bones. Oh.
Yes, Mother Delamort will be back, and we will be talking about the repopulation conspiracy.
Yes, that.
Nice.
Yes.
That shit. Oh my god.
It's almost as crazy as Heaven's Gate.
I think it's on par, dude.
I don't.
It
there's
is. Oh
Yeah.
my
It's
god.
pretty on
Anyway.
par.
Yeah. Okay.
And then Saturday, we have another Akia chit chat because I am just blowing it up
On
with
fire.
them. Because this is the last week of SAS for
Yeah.
the first round.
Yep.
So look for Akia chit chat on Saturday, normal time, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. And we are going to be with Cannabelle and Dollface.
I am actually
Fun.
I might crash that just so I can hang out with Cannabelle for a while. I freaking love Cannabelle. I like I like the way she looks. All this. You know what? I have a soft spot for women with skull faces and stuff like that. And they're just seem to be really freaking awesome people, especially when they're like 190 or 147 years old. And I mean, I'm 4,000, but you
Yeah.
guys are all young.
I guess Mother is just a spring chicken.
Oh,
You need to
yeah.
ask Cannabelle how old. she is.
Not. Yeah, we do need to ask her how old she is.
Are you 5,000?
I'd be very interested.
500?
We have
very
something coming up on Sunday too, our monthly buddy check-in chat.
Yes. The buddy chat.
Is it Sunday or is it?
Okay,
Monday?
so
It's Sunday.
it's Sunday because she had booked that a while ago when we originally talked about doing the clutch thing on Monday. It's like
The only
this
reason
was a
why I
long
asked-
time ago, and so it got screwed up. But it's only on Sunday this one time, and then it's back to
Okay.
Okay, the only
Yeah.
reason why I ask, I think Dell put it for Monday on StreamYard, so we might want to go fix that if you.
it's supposed to be clutch Monday, and then
Yep.
buddy check Sunday.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
I thought I was confused.
Yep. Of course, then Dell's clutch thing on Monday. It's her all new show.
Yes.
Yep.
So we are all coming back. It's going to be fun, and we are
Risky Red is
waiting
back.
to get our new content artists all coordinated and set up. But we've got some new stuff coming too, so that's going to be super exciting.
Razzers and Frankers and Razzles is coming too. That's something
It's coming.
Well, we got this.
It's the Rick and Morty over it, and it's coming.
It's coming. Rick.
And
But
it's
no,
two brothers. Two brothers.
It's two brothers. It's just two brothers.
Two brothers.
They're brothers and they're brothers.
And they're back.
Finally got all this done with You Can't Sit With Us, and now I can actually focus on Frankers and Razzles.
And old ladies.
Oh yeah. And they're coming too.
Yep.
And cats.
Oh, that's right. The clutch is Monday because
Clutch is Monday and,
Cool Radio
Bone Chick is
is yeah.
But it'll be back to normal time, the clutch, every other Sunday, opposite of
Exactly.
the new direction for Owlite. One Sunday will be a pre-recorded audio drama with an ongoing story. And the other will be like campfire event where different people here from the network, at the writers, storytellers will just be joining in, sitting around a virtual
I'm so
campfire and
excited
just
for
telling you
these.
cool stories.
I could.
I'm
We could sit around.
I'm excited for the clutch. I'm excited for the new Owlite thing. I'm so excited.
You know,
Super
we have a
duper
real
excited.
campfire out back. We actually have all that we can set up, and I have a long
Oh,
enough
yeah.
Ethernet cable for our laptop to go all the way out to my yard.
That'd be awesome, dude. That'd be awesome. I mean, when
That
it's
would be
warmer
cool.
for you though, because I imagine you
Oh,
don't want
I'll
to do it
right
right now.
I prefer the cold.
I'm
I like
melting.
cold
I'm-
too.
At home in 0-degree weather
Same.
or
Yeah.
below 0.
Oh yeah.
Hey, I got Uggs. I could be in shorts and a tank top. I don't give a shit.
I've
yeah.
got fur. I am very hairy. I'll just be out there naked.
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
just do it.
I'm not, but I'm fat, so that works.
You are not fat.
I'm a Wookiee with nerve damage. I can't tell the difference.
No, dude, I am a little teapot. I am short and stout, motherfuckers.
I had this friend that every time he wanted to bum a cigarette off me, I made him do the song and the dance for "I'm a Little Teapot." We were at the bar, the club. Doesn't matter where we were. If he wanted to borrow one, he had to do it, and he'd come up.
We had
every
a
time and
friend.
do
We
the
made
whole-
him do the the Chubb thing from the
Truffle
Goonies.
shuffle.
Truffle shuffle.
Yeah,
I do
truffle
that for
shuffle.
fun in public.
I swear, if Disney does not put that in the well, I guess it's the sequel reboot. If the truffle shuffle's not in there, I'm gonna be
We
upset
riot.
with Goonal.
I'm going to be
Goonals, with
very
Goonies.
honest with you. I don't have a whole lot of confidence in
I
Disney
don't either.
redoing or
This fall.
adding to the Goonies
Goonies.
too much.
I do just because of who's involved, and it's most of the original writers, producers, directors, actors. I think it'll be all right. I think it'll surprise us a little bit.
We'll see. Disney
Well, I hope
tends to
so.
take
I hope so.
Coming to theaters
Goonals.
everywhere in Mercia.
Everyone
This
gets
fall.
laid.
Goonals.
Goonals.
Goonals, the
Everyone gets
movie.
laid.
Goonals will get you with their goobers.
They will.
Goobers. Okay, I gotta go to sleep.
All right, guys.
Okay.
Wait, we forgot to tell you how to do the outro.
Oh,
No,
yeah,
I know.
yeah.
I think I know. I think I know. We will
You gotta
try.
do the,
Hold on.
Beam
which one
things
is
up
it?
with your mouth.
Doesn't matter which one.